Hello everyone! Good morning! Hi, I'm Jeanne N of Alsua, and today we will tackle about the novel 1984 by George Orwell. Before we go deeper into our discussion, let me first present to you our objectives. At the end of the 1-hour period, the students must attain the following objectives with 75% proficiency level. A. Discuss the novel 1984 by George Orwell. B. Examine its historical context. I'll introduce to you first the author of the novel, which is Mr. George Orwell. George Orwell, his real name was Eric Arthur Blair, an English novelist, essayist, journalist, and a critic. His best known for his works that include Animal Farm and the novel 1984. The historical context of 1984 provides insight into why George Orwell wrote the novel and the events that influenced its creation. Here are some key points. The first one is about post-World War II era. Orwell wrote 1984 between 1947 and 1948. The devastating impact of the war and the rise of totalitarian, such as Nazi Germany and Stalinist Russia, greatly influenced Orwell's perspective. The second one is totalitarianism and surveillance. When we say totalitarianism, it's a political system characterized by centralized and dictatorial control over all aspects of public and private life. The third one is the Cold War tensions. The novel reflects the tensions and fears of Cold War era, particularly the rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, the division of Berlin and the construction of the Berlin Wall in the 1961 are events that paralleled the themes of division and control depicted in 1984. The fourth one is Orwell's political views. Orwell was a democratic socialist and has strong anti-totalitarian views. 1984 can be seen as a critic of both right-wing and left-wing authoritarianism, highlighting the dangers of extreme ideologies and the suppressions of individuality. The fifth one is Orwell's personal experiences. Orwell's own experiences as a journalist and his time fighting in the Spanish Civil War also shaped his understanding of propaganda, censorship, and the manipulation of truth, which are prominent themes in 1984. So these historical factors influenced Orwell's writing of 1984 and contributed to the novel's enduring relevance and impact. It served as cautionary tale about the dangers of oppression and the importance of safeguarding individual freedoms. Let me now introduce to you the characters in the story. The novel of 1984 features several key characters who play significant roles in the story. Here are some of the main characters in the novel. The first one is Winston Smith. He is the protagonist of the story. Winston Smith is a middle-aged man who works at the Ministry of Truth. He becomes disillusioned with the oppressive regime and starts to rebel against the party's control. The second one is Julia. Julia is a young woman who works in the fiction department at the Ministry of Truth. She becomes Winston's love interest and shares his desire to resist the party's control. The third one is O'Brien. O'Brien is a high-ranking member of the inner party and appears initially as a friend to Winston. However, it is later revealed that he is a loyal supporter of the party and plays a pivotal role in Winston's interrogation and re-education. The fourth one is Big Brother. Big Brother is a symbolic leader of the party. His image is omnipresent in the society, serving as a reminder of the constant surveillance and control. The fifth one is Emmanuel Goldstein. Goldstein is a former member of the inner party who became a traitor and enemy of the state. He is the subject of the party's hate propaganda and serves as a scapegoat for the party's failures. The last one is Mr. Charrington. Mr. Charrington is an old man who runs an antique shop in the Pearl District. He appears friendly to Winston and Julia, but is later revealed to be a member of the Thought Police. For the setting of the story, the setting of the story of 1984 is a dystopian society known as Oceania. The novel primarily takes place in Airstrip 1, which is the name given to the region that was once known as Great Britain. Oceania is one of the 3 totalitarian superstates that dominate the world, along with Eurasia and East Asia. Okay, let's now move on to the themes present in the story. The novel 1984 explores several themes that are central to the story. Here are some of the main themes present in the novel. The first one is totalitarianism. The novel depicts a society ruled by a totalitarian regime that exercises complete control over its citizens, suppressing individuality, manipulating information, and using surveillance to maintain power. The second one is surveillance and privacy. The theme of constant surveillance is pervasive throughout the story. The government monitors its citizens' every move, creating a sense of paranoia and the loss of privacy. Manipulation of truth. The party in 1984 controls and manipulates historical records and information to its propaganda. The theme of the distortion of truth highlights the power of controlling information and the dangers of society without access to objective reality. Loss of individuality. The society in 1984 seeks to eliminate individuality in independent thought, enforcing conformity and obedience to the party. The theme of the loss of individuality explores the consequences of suppressing personal identity and freedom. Last one is rebellion and hope. Despite the oppressive regime, the novel also explores the theme of rebellion and the human desire to freedom. The protagonist, Winston Smith, challenges the party's control and seeks to maintain his own sense of humanity and independence. And that ends my discussion. Thank you everyone for listening and watching.